Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's news leader.
A reported chemical attack in Syria kills dozens, including women and children. I'm Wendy Gillette in New York with more on what the U.S. is saying about its response.
And Second Amendment supporters held a pro-gun rally in Billings on Saturday, coming up with what marchers say should be done to protect people in public places.
6:30 on this Monday. Chair Layman Missy O'Malley with you here. Our top story this half hour. The Trump administration says all options are on the table after another report of chemical weapons being used in Syria.
That's right. On Twitter, President Trump warned of a big price to be paid for the death of dozens of civilians over the weekend. Wendy Gillette is in New York with the latest on this story.
The UN Security Council will convene today for an emergency session to discuss the suspected chemical attack in Syria. Images from first responders show what they say is the result of a poison gas attack Saturday. Opposition activists and local rescuers insist at least 40 people were killed in a rebel-held town. CBS News cannot independently verify these videos or confirm whether a chemical attack took place. Syria and its allies have all denied responsibility. President Trump condemned the strike on Twitter and warned of serious consequences, writing in part, "President Putin, Russia, and Iran are responsible for backing animal Assad. Big price to pay."
This is one of those issues on which every nation, all peoples have all agreed and have agreed since World War II is an unacceptable practice. So
is it possible there will be another missile attack?
Yeah, I wouldn't take anything off the table.
Some lawmakers called for a forceful response.
It's a defining moment in his presidency because he has challenged Assad in the past not to use chemical weapons.
Last time this happened, the president did a targeted attack to take out some of the facilities that may be an option that we should consider now.
Mr. Trump recently said U.S. troops would be leaving Syria very soon. In a statement, Senator John McCain said it appeared the president's words had emboldened the Assad regime. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Now, a Syrian monitoring group says at least 14 people were killed in an early morning missile strike on a Syrian Air Force base. Now, a report on the Syrian state television suggested it was a part of a U.S.-led strike. The Department of Defense insists, though, the U.S. did not carry out that attack.
More coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning on that story. Right now, Matt has a little weather to chat about. A pretty decent start all in all, as long as we don't get one of those goofy squalls like we had Saturday.
And Sunday, and you name it. It looks like today's actually going to be pretty quiet for the most part. Our temperatures into the low, even mid-30s for most of the area. 21 in West Yellowstone this morning. Decent amount of cloud cover to start the day. We'll see more sunshine by the afternoon. Daytime highs into the mid to upper 40s. Or low 50s. Now you look at the week ahead, it becomes a little uneven temperature-wise. We'll explain what to expect as we get a little later into the week. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Now 6:33 on this Monday. One man is dead after a single car rollover crash Saturday night on Interstate 90 just west of Belgrade. Montana Highway Patrol says road conditions were icy and slick at the time. 55-year-old Larry Dean Vettenheimer of Manhattan was ejected from the vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A woman who was a passenger was also ejected from the vehicle. She was taken to the hospital. No word on her condition.
And 2 weeks after calls for gun legislation, more than 100 staunch supporters of the Second Amendment rallied in downtown Billings despite that bitter cold weather on Saturday. MTN's David J. was there and has more on the message that the rally hoped to inspire.
Oh, say, can you see?
Citizens talk about the Second Amendment. Peter Siegel organized the pro-gun rally in Billings.
We're law-abiding citizens, we're gun owners, and we're tired of people yelling down our voices. We're a silent majority. We don't usually get our ire up and start raising our voices, but as you can hear today, we're raising our voice loud and clear.
Siegel says guns are not the problem in school shootings.
I'm agreeable to the background checks, but when people are mentally defective, the Florida massacre with the school at Parkland happened because the government did not do its job. Look at the gun-free zones. 98% of all mass shootings occur in gun-free zones. You take the guns away, criminals know that they're there. If they want to kill people, they know where people are defenseless.
And students also had a chance to talk about gun restrictions.
We as a people have the right to protect ourselves from tyranny and all things evil.
The right to bear guns was fought and bled for by our ancestors, sometimes at the ultimate cost of their lives.
Many spoke at the rally, including Yellowstone County Commissioner John Ostlund.
Really proud to see a great crowd out here peacefully protesting our right to continue with the Constitution as it is. I don't believe it's a living document. I believe it was written and intended to be interpreted by the courts as it is.
We have a Constitution. The first 10 amendments were put into paper because they felt so strongly that people might lose these rights. It's God-given right to protect myself and my family.
David J., MTN News, Billings.
Now, Peter Seigel says that the rally brought in donations that will help with transportation for those speakers, and some of that money will also go towards Toys for Tots.
Closer to home this morning, a city of Bozeman will decide tonight whether or not 69 acres of land will be annexed and rezoned for industrial use. The land is located northwest corner of Nelson Road and Highway 10 near the Bozeman wastewater treatment plant and just north of Interstate 90. It has been used for agriculture in the past. Commissioners will vote on whether the city should amend the growth policy to change that land from rural to industrial. Also before commissioners tonight, affordable housing. It's a big problem in the city of Bozeman. Now officials are taking another step to solve it. MTN's Madaris Babb tells us about the plan.
Some Bozeman citizens could receive assistance from the city when buying a house. The city will vote for permission to give $80,000 from its affordable housing budget to qualified buyers. Director of Community Development Marty Matson says this money would give citizens a jump start when buying a home.
That money then goes on to the property as a lien on the property. So when those homes are sold, that $10,000 comes back to the city, and we can then use it for the next buyer or somebody else that's requesting down payment assistance within the program.
If it is approved, 8 buyers would get $10,000 to go towards a down payment. Money would only go to buyers who have been approved for assistance based on their income.
These houses are being sold at 80% of the area median income, so they are discounted to begin with. But the down payment assistance that they receive from the city or from the state obviously helps folks, gives them a step up.
The 8 houses that qualify for this program are located right behind me on Arnhem Way. This is right off of Durston Road. The city says this is the first time buyers have asked for down payment assistance. In Bozeman, Madaris Babb, MTN News.
Now, if this motion is approved, it would use up to $80,000 of the $200,000 the city has set aside for affordable housing.
And perhaps you've seen his artwork around the state. This past week, friends and families remembered Linden Pomeroy from Billings, who died at the age of 93. MTN's David J. talked through Drew Pomeroy about his father.
I don't know that anybody has taken steel to this point on planet Earth. I have not seen anybody out there myself that did it the way that he did and has done as big of a portfolio. I mean, 50 years of monumental pieces.
Some of those pieces of art are all over Billings and Montana.
He had a sense of three-dimensionality.
Drew Pomeroy talks about his dad, artist Linden Pomeroy.
For whatever reason, I started calling my mom Lenore and my dad Linden. I only call him my father or dad under really, really special circumstances, and he loved that. It wasn't something like I was doing anything offensive.
Drew helped with some of the labor needed in the artwork and learned a lot from his dad.
Linden was just good at everything he touched. He was a superb fly fisherman. He was a superb hunter. He was an incredible shot. He was an incredible pilot. He was an incredible artist. Just this miracle in motion all the time. There was just nothing he couldn't do.
And Linden Pomeroy liked making his sculptures out of steel.
It's the material of our time, the media of our time. Without steel, modern society does not exist. If it's not made out of steel, it requires steel tools to make it. The steel gives it a real hardcore permanence. Unless its stuff is subjected to something unnecessary, that piece out in front of KTVQ will be down there 10,000 years from now.
Drew says his father took up art after injuries kept him from pursuing his passion of flying.
Especially when he got older, he'd just sit there in his chair or whatever, and just out of him he'd say, I've had such a spectacular life. He was blessed, he knew it, and he was thankful that he got to do his whole life what he wanted to.
David J., MTN News, Billings.
If we could all only be that lucky. That's so cool. Pomeroy says his father made about 200 monumental pieces, 1,000 medium pieces, and about 1,000 smaller pieces during his 56-year career. Incredible.
Doing something that he loved to do.
I love that every day.
Can say no more about
Yep,
that. That's awesome.
That's the best.
Beautiful stuff.
It is a quick break. Here's Nora O'Donnell with a look at your Monday morning headlines coming up at 7.
Good morning. Ahead here on CBS This Morning, the latest on the suspected chemical weapons attack in Syria and the U.S. response. And Elton John on his secret to nearly 50 years of musical success. The reason he's saying goodbye and the one song he won't miss playing. We'll see you right at 7.